Hello, this is Bryan Emmert with WestCobb Alliance Reece Nichols. Welcome to Southwest Missouri Joplin Real Estate Channel. Today we have a special guest, David Forest with Southwest Missouri Electric. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Started business February of 2020. I've been an electrician since 2005. I started out in the union and went to school for 5 years, and then I kind of got out of that and decided to start my own business. There was a need in the area, specifically starting out in Neosho, here where we're from, but we've kind of branched out to the Southwest Missouri, Northeast Oklahoma. We are in the 4 states. And we've been in business now, like I said, since February of 2020. We do everything from residential to commercial to industrial. We will change out your light bulb, or we will help wire up your brand new factory. We pretty much do everything in between. We have a lot of our own equipment, so the big trucks, the auger trucks, the bucket trucks, the scissor lifts. We do a lot of our own digging. We do a lot of our own material handling and stuff like that that some other companies may sub out, the concrete work, stuff like that. A lot of those things that we can do in-house to help customers, continue to save money. And like I said, we're going a little over 5 years strong, and we plan to be here for 5 more years and hopefully 5 more after that, and continue and so on.
How would I know if my electrical system in my house is outdated?
Basically, one of the tall tell signs to know if your electrical is outdated is your lights will start dimming, they'll start flickering. You may have, a burning smell. Some of those things indicate, your electrical system failing, having problems. Those are good times to, probably get a hold of an electrician.
Should I get my wiring system inspected, and how often?
Absolutely, it's a good thing to have your electrical system inspected. How often? They say, honestly, every 40 years or so. I would recommend, probably sooner than that. I would say every 10 to 20 years is probably a good idea. They do get a lot of inspections, in the real estate market, when you're buying and selling homes. Those are very good times to get your electrical inspected.
What is the lifespan of wiring, outlets, and breakers?
Wiring, they say on its best day, it's good for about 100 years. 100 years is a long time. There's other things that go into play. So the environment the wire is in, the installation, the quality of the installation, how they installed it. The insulation around the wiring. So the older wiring we see nowadays, we still see a lot of that wiring was put in, 40, 50 years ago, and that stuff's starting to fall apart after 40, 50 years. They say, hey, it's supposed to be good for 100, but 40 to 50 years later, it's falling apart. Now your breakers, outlets, they say, 10 to 20 years on an outlet. A lot of that kind of the same thing is how it was installed. The integrity of the wiring behind the device, and basically how often it's in use is another thing. Breakers, kind of the same, 10 to 20 year lifespan. One of those things to notice of, when it needs change is if it's tripping often. Same thing with your lights. If you start hearing a buzzing sound coming out of your light switch, or something that you plug into your receptacle is falling out, it won't stay in. Well, it's time to, change those devices out.
How can an electrician help make the house more energy efficient?
There's a lot of ways. You can kind of start off by basically, what a lot of people do is, start with LED lighting. You can change out the old fluorescent fixtures, for LED fixtures. That saves you some cost there. Basically appliances, getting the more efficient appliances. Smart devices, they've got a lot of devices out now with technology. So those are a good cost savings. And another way is we can actually come in and do some testing and make sure that your panel is balanced, that your load is balanced. That'll help as well. So there's several things you can do.
Can a handyman do electrical work, or should I hire a electrician professional licensed?
Obviously, I am a licensed electrician, so I would highly recommend that you stick with the professionals that is their trade. Handyman are good. We use handyman ourselves. Now, they can do light electrical work. I would say maybe, change out a light fixture or switch, or maybe test something for you. But honestly, if it's coming from me, I would say your best bet is to get a qualified licensed electrician.
How can I tell if I've hired a professional qualified electrician?
There's several ways to tell if you're hired qualified electrician. You can ask him one for his license. Most electricians, if they're not carrying it on them, they have access to show you their license in the state that they are performing the work in. Here in the city of Neosho, well with any other city around, you can call the Chamber of Commerce, or the City Hall. They'll have list of licensed electricians in that area. And then you can do, look for references, ask them for pictures of their previous work. You can Google. Now a good way is honestly Facebook is a really good way to get. It's not going to prove that they're licensed, but you can, kind of look for references and see, Facebook, look at the website, things like that.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to make a comment in the channel, and we'll get back and answer that for you. Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.